What is up, DJ Army Netherwood? Also known as John, back with more patch videos for you here. And actually, I think I turned the sound off. Let me turn that back on real fast here. I was watching a movie with my wife, was trying to look at footage, couldn't have this on at the same time. So anyway, this is the Tier 9 Chinese heavy tank, the WZ-111 1-4. This is on 8.3 test server, just came out yesterday. And I wanted to show you, again, I'm doing tanks again, but I'm not doing replays just yet. I'm doing patch videos and some strategy here and there. In fact, I need to do a couple more strategy videos, I think. Got a couple tanks ready. Anyway, we're not really talking about that. We're talking about the Tier 9 Chinese medium or heavy tank. Now, basically, this tank was down-tiered from Tier 10 as it was on the 8.2 test, in the first iteration 8.2 test. Now, I thought it was because they were too underpowered, but I did see a note from the devs that they're saying it was too overpowered. I didn't think this tank was very overpowered, and here's why. Look at the plates on this thing. How are you going to find a way to not give off a flat spot with that kind of angling? Good luck, because if you put it straight on, your front plate is flat, your lower plate. If you angle it, your top plate is flat. So I don't know. I mean, it's got really awesome angling as far as the front plate's concerned. That's really angled front plate. That's awesome. But I didn't think it was that overpowered. It was pretty good tank compared to the IS-7. I don't know. It seemed awesome. I wanted to get it, but I don't think it was better than the IS-7. It was good. It's a good tank. I mean, still a good tank, but it was. I don't think it was that overpowered. I don't know. The IS-7 is definitely. I mean, if you want to talk about overpowered tanks, then you need to nerf the IS-7. Because it was, I think it was better than this tank as the Tier 10. But anyway, I got the stats of this tank up on the other monitor here, and the previous tank on the Tier 10 level had 2,400 hit points, a little bit lower than the current Chinese Tier 10 at 2,500. Obviously, this one with 1,850 obviously reduced a lot down because it's Tier 9 hit points here. The Tier 10 had 46 tons, really 47 tons, pushed by 750 hit point or horsepower engine. This one is like 45 tons, pushed by a 600 horsepower engine, so a little less mobile. Still very mobile though, but just not as mobile as it was previously. Speed limit 50, still the same. The traverse was severely nerfed. This one has 36, and we'll see what this one has in the garage, but I think it's like 28 or something like that. So the traverse was severely nerfed, it's at least on the hull. The turret traverse at 26 stayed the same. The hull armor did get a nerf. The Tier 10 version had 150 hull armor on the top plate. This has 120. The current Chinese Tier 10 has 120 on the top plate. I don't think that's a good idea. Yes, it's severely angled, but I'm getting penned left and right in that Chinese Tier 10. So, again, I think it was fine with 150. The IS-7 has 150. So it seemed to be fine. I don't know, 150 seems to be fine. Turret armor stays the same at 230. That has not changed. What else has changed? Oh, the gun reload rate has been nerfed. This thing loads less than 5 shells per minute. The Tier 10 version loads 5.7 shells per minute. A little bit more than the current Chinese Tier 10. And I think the IS-7 loads at about the same rate, maybe a little bit slower than that actually. 400 view range, that's the same, and the radio range at 750 is still the same. So that's the nerf they did for this tank. Not a very good tier 9. It's a lot like the IS-8, except I think the IS-8's a little better. It feels more accurate. This tank does not feel as accurate. Again, I don't know. I haven't looked at the stats between the IS-8 and this tank, but the IS-8 seems more accurate. This tank still feels great. The IS-8 feels more mobile. The gun feels more accurate. The damage on the gun seems a little bit better than this one. 244 pen, 490 damage. That's a really good gun. It's a really nice gun. It's actually better than the Tier 10 as far as damage is concerned. It's got a little bit less pen than the Tier 10, but not a lot, like 13 or something like that. Really, I'd take that damage over that pen any day. Of course, this reloads a little bit slower. So that, might not be the greatest thing. Sorry if my nose is a little bit weird. I have a cold right now, so just take what you can get, I guess. So, trying to take out that IS-3. You're having a decent game right here on the Arctic region. So I'm firing at another 1-4, and again, I don't go through the top plate right there. Probably because I shot him right at the apex. Not really positive why that didn't go through. 120 millimeter armor. Even that angle, it probably should have went through. But we'll see. So it seems like an okay tank. I think the M103 makes this thing look like a piece of crap. It's a way better tank. The gun seems to be way better. Feels more accurate. Reloads faster. Has, I don't know, it feels like it has better pen, but it's probably about the same actually. 244 is pretty high. But I think the M103 has more pen. Again, it feels more accurate. Probably not as mobile as this tank. Probably more bouncy though. I don't know. This tank's pretty bouncy. It feels more bouncy than the Tier 10. I'm not really sure why that is. Because the Tier 10, well, the Tier 10 you could angle like that and not give off flat armor. Now, see, I did get pinned through the top plate and actually through the top of the mantlet right there. But I also bounced a shot off the top plate right there as well. So that might be the weak spot right in that crack between the top and bottom plate there. I'm sure people will be testing the weak spots of these tanks when they roll out, if they're not doing it now. Again, very mobile. That's probably the best thing about the Chinese heavy tanks. They're very mobile. I'm up at 50 kilometers per hour, no sweat, on pretty rough terrain here in the snow. Pretty awesome. That's about the only thing I can say, though. But, you know, if you're wanting mobility, you might as well just get a medium tank. Much more mobile. About the same bounciness. I mean, the armor on these tanks is not very good, so I don't know. I don't think the Chinese heavy tanks are that great. Now, here I'm angling. I'm going to pen this T-54. Let's see where he shoots me. He bounces. Can I see my bounce? I don't see a bounce. Maybe in the track? And he gets taken out. So let's look at the end plates. So here's the first end plate to that game. Not a great game. Obviously not very good. Did get a Mastery Tier 3. Nothing to write home about. 900 XP game. Not very good. Did survive the entire match. Took out a couple guys that were pretty low, so it didn't really matter. Killed 2, damaged 4. Again, not a great game, pretty average. And not even really that high on the XP list. Still, I survived, helped my teammates out. That was the second plate. Let's look at the third one. 1,400 damage on 1,850 point tank. Again, not very good. Didn't really get to test this tank all that much. I had a few games in it. The cannon is not that accurate. The Tier 10 is a little more accurate, but I had better shots with this thing. For some reason, it just has better accuracy. So there you can see the stats if you're looking off to the right. Again, I already talked about all these stats. 28 traverse, kind of like I was talking about with the hole there. It's okay. I don't think that there's anything to write home about this tank. It's just kind of there. Not that great. Also, not many. Looks like I'm the Chinese. The money system or the economics of the Chinese tanks are just not there yet. I had a pretty okay game with that Tier 10, and I lost money. I didn't have a bad game with this tank, but again, I lost money. So, but you can never tell really with tests. A lot of times they tweak the money right at the last second off the test server. So don't take this as the final judgment for money. 9 shots, 5 direct hits, 4 penetrations. That's okay. I missed a few shots. Again, in this game particularly did not have very good shots. I had some kind of random misses and stuff. Anyway, let me know what you think. Later, guys.